it's just funny though that one of the subtopics was about losing yourself.
Right? Yeah.
So before I left Kendall house, man, he was talking to his friends on the phone, female friend, and they were talking about that, man. He said, "Yeah, I got my line brother over here, man. We definitely working with him right now."
Yeah.
Because my life prior to meeting my wife, if it wasn't Polo or Jordans, I didn't wear it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really was very much into what I look like, who I hung around, making sure I was up on the latest fashion and trend,
Right,
and being
right.
a very social individual, right? But when I met my wife, I was so determined to be the husband I always knew I wanted to be,
Yeah.
that for the last 13 years, that's been my walk in life, much to my detriment, right? In being the husband I had envisioned I wanted myself to be, and the father I wanted myself to be, I completely lost the way my polo and my sauce game went from that to, cargos, shorts,
Real
to,
quick.
Sweatpants.
Oh
every day,
man, this
Crocs,
space.
right? Because again, my life revolved around hanging out with friends,
Yeah.
know people,
Right.
to completely diving into the role of
That man said, "I gotta look the part."
it wasn't even about that
Yeah,
really
yeah.
so much as it was about taking my focus off of
The
that.
folk, yeah, shifted.
Man, all of my energy went to that.
Yeah,
Every single ounce, man, went to
real.
that, right?
that's real.
So much so now that I looked up and I don't even know what makes me happy. That's why I'm glad at this phase in my life, it is not a lie when I say I thank God for Omega because it saved me.
That's a blessing, bro.
You see what
That's
I'm
what's
saying?
up. That's
Like-
beautiful,
like,
dog.
I was suffering from depression,
Yeah,
didn't even realize it until I met y'all in my LBs,
Right.
yeah,
right? So that's why I'm so passionate about things on this end now, is like, because of who I was, it literally saved me.
Right,
When I
right,
go to
right.
therapy and I write these things down, I'm like, dang, I didn't even realize it was that bad.
yeah.
Right.
I joke with Kendall. I say, it was so bad, bro. I tried to start fishing again, trying to find a hobby.
Yeah.
It was so quiet out there at Harrison Bay, bro. I got so mad because it was so quiet. I threw the pole in the water and walked out. That's how bad it was.
Damn.
Because I have no clue now what makes me happy. Because I dive so deep into being the best husband, being the best father. Like that.
That's real,
needed
dog.
precedence,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
we'll kick the show off. I think that's a great segue into the show, man. Welcome to another installment, a very special installment of the Purple and Gold Table Talk. I'm Kyle. I'm normally behind the camera, but today we have the pleasure of interviewing these great men. He's normally the guy that
I know, man.
that's doing the
Switching
interview.
roles.
So
That dude.
now he's on the hot seat.
Woo.
So we'll start off with Sterling. He's the newest guy to the scene. So hey, we gonna Sterling, just introduce yourself. Tell them what you do, man. Where you from, and we'll just go from there.
My name is Sterling Gillum. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am a firefighter / part-time bus driver and father of 2 and a husband.
All right.
That's what's up. So my name is Haven Nelson. I live here in Chattanooga. I'm originally from Antioch, Tennessee. I'm a husband and father for myself, and excited to get into it.
Ooh-wee. Again, my name is Kyle. I don't think I said that at all, but y'all already know me. But I'm married. I'm coming up on 2 years. 2 years. I'm
That's what's up.
I'm
bro.
all new in the game. Ain't got no kids. So this is gonna be special for me because I'm gonna be gathering all of them.
Okay, all right.
Taking notes. I got all this ready.
All that.
So
Yeah.
I guess to piggyback off where you started the conversation about losing yourself, like what made you get to that point to where you felt like something got to change, like this don't feel natural.
Honestly, I didn't know the things that I was doing was so routine and cyclical that I didn't even realize I had a problem until I got here, right, into Omega, because meeting my LBs and seeing how intentional they were about preserving their peace and their happiness, I stood back and I said, man, I'm messed up. I'm messed up bad, and I didn't realize it. So to answer your question, had I not entered into Omega, I would still be on the same hamster wheel. It would still be turning the same way. packing all the lunches for my family, cooking all the meals, all the mundane things that we do. I would still be on the hamster wheel until I hit a wall, I guess.
So I take it that's something that you got passion from. Like you love to do that, right? But yes. it became more of a self-care for you. Like that you realized that you needed to care more for yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, because growing up, those are the things that I'd always wanted my mom to have in a husband, right? Mm-hmm. A partner, somebody that comes in, completes the other half of the 100% with another 50% of effort, right? I was determined. I said if I ever got married, I was going to be the dream husband for anybody, right? Because I wanted my home to be a place of peace for my kids, right? I wanted my wife to be able to see refuge in me, right? So having that kind of effort and putting forth that kind of effort, I didn't realize the toll that it was going to take. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was accomplishing my mission, but I didn't realize the toll that it was going to take on me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that's really what. To sum that up, yes.
So Haven, I want to ask you about how do you, I guess, balance the managing your time with your wife and managing time with your kids. Because one, you a super busy man. Like you do a little bit of everything, and you good at it.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that.
Look, I be peeping from the back, man. He do make it look easy. So with you being so good at stuff, that means you gotta take time away from one area or another area in your life, right? So how do you like keep that balance between making sure that you spend time with your wife so that she feels the love, but then on top of that, making sure that you being a great dad to your kids?
Yeah. So one, I would say it's tough at first. This is something that you don't get naturally, right? Something that you actually have to take a step back and look at. So that's all I struggled with for a while. Want to rip and run and try to create and provide and all that stuff. Like we have the idea we're a capitalist society and we want to provide for our family. So that's what I got to go get out here and get the money, right? Even with the wife and kids, right? It's like, okay, how do I balance these things? I think that one, being very intentional about, hey, we're going to go out on this day, right? I think that's you have to be intentional and say, okay, well, what we're doing on this weekend or something like that. Like, hey, we're gonna go out on a date and those type of things. Even with that, you have to be very aware of the conversations you're having. Because you can date your wife all day, but if you go out and all you talk about is the kids, you feel what I'm saying? Like, are you truly dating her? You see what I'm saying?
So you got to have a balance in the conversation.
Yeah, you got to have a balance of conversation. You can't be like, we're gonna go out on a date, but then the whole time you talking about, so and so Torn did this or Titan did this. I mean, I love him. You feel me? but I'm gonna see him later. Right. All right. So that's how you got to look at it. So I think that being very intentional of dating. Now, as far as with the kids, it's making sure that when you do have the time, take advantage, right? So typically, if I have the time and allowed, I might initiate going to pick up the kid, right?
Right.
Or initiate going to drop the kids off. You feel me? Like just being very, when you do have that time, sometimes you can't be like, well, shit, I got a little time to myself. I'm about to go chill. Sometimes you actually got to go indulge those kids because you might not have that time later on because you so tired of doing other things.
Right.
And on top of that, being involved in the activities, that helps out a ton because that actually lines up. So it's like, okay, well, how do you balance all these things? Well, if I know that my sons have basketball practice Tuesday and Thursdays, hey, that's on the schedule. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm active. I'm in that, right? I'm in that with them. We immersed together. So that same thing with my daughter. She got a cheerleading this, or I need to pick up. She got a game. So having them involved in things where you like, okay, this is what they doing, right? This is what they love to do and want to do. I'm gonna make sure I'm there too. Everything else kind of falls into place.
So with this for the both of y'all. So whichever one of y'all feel like can speak on it better or whatever, more passionate about it. But speaking on the fact of that I think y'all have a great balance on how to be a great family man. Like, what does self-care look like for y'all? Like, how do y'all make time for you? Like, because you set a specific day for you and your wife. Is there a specific day, or do you give yourself an allotted time during the day to say, all right, I at least need 5-10 minutes? Like what does that look like? Like for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to get like a concrete, like not necessarily a blueprint, but something that makes sense that I can say, all right, cool. Well, I definitely made sure that I took care of business at work. Then I came home, did some extra, some housework type stuff. Then I got some other side businesses that I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I rushed through the day. Like, how do y'all find time to make time for yourself?
I know me in particular, I've always found that I have the most clarity early in the morning.
Okay.
I wake up typically around 4 a.m. every day. So when I'm up, I have the most clarity between 4:30 and 5. So during that time, I do a lot of journaling.
Okay.
And the thoughts come to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like this morning, for example, I knew I was coming here. You know what I mean? So I knew the attitude that I wanted to have when I got here. You know what I mean? And another thing that Haven just pointed out was being intentional. You know what I mean? And Kendall uses that word all the time. You have to be intentional. Mm-hmm. I never thought that I'd have to intentionally, go after happiness, right? I just thought it was something that would come to me. You have to be intentional, man.
Right.
It's almost like you have to be disciplined in your self-care. It's not something that's just going to come to you. And I think one of the most challenging things in that is actually finding out what self-care looks like for you, because it looks different for everybody.
Did you feel selfish, like trying to make time for yourself?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I do
how you navigate that though?
But see, here's the thing. The way I navigate that is between 4:30 and 5 a.m. Everybody's snoring. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like for me.
Man, yeah.
For me in particular.
I ain't there yet, Kyle.
Because when I get to when I get to my primary job, the bell's ringing as soon as I hit the door.
Right.
And it's time to hurry up, get dressed, and fly out, right?
Yeah.
And then, I drive the school bus, you know what I mean? So I have to be intentional. I have to take a look at my day, hour to hour, minute to minute, and say, okay, between the hours of 4:30 and 5 a.m., that's for me. You know what I mean? I can sit there and I can journal, right? And then I just have to, again, I keep going back to my LBs, man, but I be texting them at 5 a.m. And they know that I have the most clarity. Things come to me at that time. It's weird, but that's what happens.
Okay, so now that we know that he's Superman.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
He wake up at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Listen, I will say I do journal. I think it's real good to hear black men talk about expressing their thoughts, getting their ideas on paper and all that. But for us,
right? Understood.
For us, how do you? Because I can't wake up at 4 o'clock.
So this is
it looks different for
you're right.
Yeah.
So help me.
Listen, short answer. I'm still working on that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, so my journey, right? I became a father at 17, right? So you always had that I've always been in that mind state since then. You feel me? Got married at 26. You know what I'm saying? I had kids through then. So what I was doing then to have fun, self-care, was clubbing and, you know what I'm saying, kicking it, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I really didn't have that transition where it was like, okay, well, when you go out that way, and I'm gonna say I'll still go out to the club. You might catch the club every now and then. Right. We still out here. We still outside. But at the same time though, that's not where I'm at now in life, right? So I didn't really have that in between transition where I came from, okay, you in your young 20s, whatever it may be, you feel me? So now you 30-something, you getting married, having a family. I went straight into it. Boom.
Yeah. Right. You've always been dad.
Yeah, I've always been dad. I've always been always at the husband mode I'm still trying to navigate through that, right? I think that's something that I'm working on. I've been in that gym a little bit more. I don't know if y'all can, you feel me, but I've been you know what I'm saying? But trying to find some time that I can to do that to just to get some that clarity as well, right? But I will say that I love the journey. Don't let me sit up here and act I love the journey, right? It's part of it. But in that where I'm at now, they always say every decision you make, right, you kind of make it for your family, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I agree with that to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. I feel like that the top of the decision, right, the basis of the decision should be for your family. You have a responsibility to your family. But at some point, you have to make a decision for yourself too. What's good for me? Mm-hmm. What's good for you? What's good for you? You've already touched on what's good for you, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's the point where I'm getting there. So I'm hearing some things you're talking about. Journaling sounds great. It's good to hear both of y'all do that. Just trying to find that balance as well.
So you you talked about decisions that kind of piqued my interest. You've been a dad since 17.
Yeah.
Have you ever made a decision that you were unsure about, but you just had to make it, or like how do you go about processing decision making skills? Like, is this something that you go and consult? Like, do you consult your child's mom? Do you consult your wife? Do you be like, all right, cool, as a man, I got to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Nah, so all right. So I feel like as a man, you are the king of your castle, right? We talked about that. But at the same time, the people in your household have to be right. So I definitely communicate with my spouse, or you know what I'm saying, the situation, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, still, it's my decision. You feel me? And I know everybody's household different. You feel me? No knock to no other household. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I feel like, but I also value the opinion. So it's not like I'm just hearing it just to hear. No, I truly value the opinion. I understand like she can come with a side that I might not have seen at that time. So I'm able and I'm open enough to receive that. You feel what I'm saying? That might not work for somebody who is not open enough to receive it.
Right.
You feel me? So I'm open enough to receive that. So that helps with decision making. But at the same time, like I was blessed to. When I was in a situation where I grew up in a 2-parent household. My dad and my mom still together 33 years. You feel me? So I've seen some things, whether it be good or bad, right? That's with any household.
Right.
So I'm able to say, okay, I could pick up. Okay, Pops did this wonderful. You feel me? Like I can do that. Like that helps guide my decisions on some things. Also, I seen that he could have did this a little bit better. You feel me? But that's the benefit of having that in the household. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure that I give my kids that same opportunity. So even though I couldn't do it the first time, the second time around, we locked in. You know?
Right. So coming from a 2-parent household, did you see marriage in a different light? Or were you afraid of marriage? Did that make you want to get married more?
Oh, that's a great point, man. So, but I saw two sides, right? Okay. So I saw myself too, like, man, I'm gonna be this big money dude in a penthouse, you know what I'm saying, kicking it. You feel me? Oh no, but also, no, I always knew that I was gonna be a family man. Like that's how I grew up. That's what I wanted. I know it works. I know it takes work, but I know it works. You feel me?
Right.
So I always, I saw myself in that aspect for real.
So coming from your perspective, you came from a single parent household?
Yes, till I was about 11.
Okay, till you was about 11, and then you got a stepdad. Where did the passion come from to want to be a good dad? What was it, because of your stepdad, or was it because you felt like you lacked from what I'm saying, your biological dad, or you felt like, man, I need to do more when it come to whenever it come to me building my own family? Like where did that mindset come from?
I knew that from a very early age I wanted to be the dad that I never had, right? My biological father still in Tampa to this day, you know what I mean, but was involved in a lot of things growing up, you know what I mean. He's a lot older than my mother. My mother had me at 18, and so to get her out of that environment, she moved to Atlanta. Anyway, long story long, I knew that I wanted to be the father that I never had, right? I said, if I ever got the chance, I want to do more than just right by my kids. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that I'm ever present, you know what I mean, as much as I can be, right? So that's where my passion came from during the hard times that I faced. You know what I mean? Football games that, my mama had to work a double, so she wasn't there. It was just me. I look over in the stands, ain't nobody there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of those things, right? Me being finally getting to the honor roll situation. My mama having to work, nobody there, you know what I mean, for support. Everybody else got their parents. It's just me. You feel me? So just in those spaces, I knew what I wanted to be at an early age if I ever had kids. You know what I mean? I saw how hard it was on my mama to raise us by herself.
Okay. So we kind of dabbling between, marriage and being a father, which is great, but I guess for a selfish, let me ask y'all, like, I'm gonna start with you. What's the best piece of advice to just being a husband? We're not talking about fatherhood, but we just talking about being a husband. What's some good advice that you could give? Not necessarily to your younger self, but if somebody was listening right now, like what's the best piece of advice that you think that you needed that you didn't have, or that you what I'm saying, that you just received from somebody?
Right. I would say this is from experience, right? So I would say the best advice I give someone is to be truly there and immersed in how your spouse is feeling, right? Like, and what they're going through, their situation. And what I mean by that is life isn't perfect. There's ups, there's downs, right? And doesn't mean like the downs may not be between you two, but you have to really understand and be there unconditionally for that person while they're going through what they're going through. Because at the end of the day, that's who you with, right? That's your partner. So no matter what their situation, what they're going through, you had to feel that. And that's how you know that connection there. That pain is your pain, right? Like, so if you see that, you can't be, okay, I hope you good, pat you on the back, like, you know what I'm saying? What can I do? Keep it very surface level. You got to really get in them trenches.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you, when did you know that your wife, when did you know she was going to be my wife?
Man, you just switched the whole topic.
Yeah, I know. I just want to know.
Hey,
I'm going to come back.
Check this out. That's a great
It is
question,
a good
man.
question, though.
It's a great question. So, man, so this is all right. So, on a broader scale thing, right? Shout out to my aunt. My aunt always told me, she was like, always find who you gonna be with in college. That's what she told me. She said, because it's hard out here. You feel me? Straight up. She was like, after that, like, everybody working, you rarely going out, you going to da. It's like, it's tough. You feel what I'm saying? That shit stuck with me. She told me that I was in high school. You feel me? So, stuck with me. So, I went to school, did my thing, everybody dating, whatever, do a thing. But at the same time, the bond was there, right? It was like it was a genuine connection. It was she had the things that I lacked. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I can go through though. It's a gamut of things, right? So I'm super chill. Like, I'm super chill, laid back. She Aries, she high strong in the morning. You feel me? Like it's like, you feel me? Like it's
the
yin to the yang. So it's different things, and that's just one example. There's different things. It's like, okay, what I may be lacking, you feel me? And I not even lacking, but I don't have all the way there, right? She actually exceeds and excels in those things. So the partnership and the match was there. You feel me? Like, so it kind of draw you to it like a magnet.
Okay.
Right.
So to you, Sterling, I ain't forgot. I just
No,
it was.
hey, I'm just listening.
He was
bro.
talking. I was like, I
Absolutely.
got to know, man. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
my boy out
That
here.
was it. But I was young too, though, right? You feel me? So look, and then look at this situation. Me being young, I'm out here messing up. I'm gonna be real. You feel me? Like, I'm messing up and
We
stuff.
gotta be 100.
Gotta be 100, right?
Got to.
That's what's for. Like, this could really truly help somebody, right? So at the same time, you feel me? I was doing my thing, whatever, and at the same time, like, she had cut me off. Like, she cut me off.
Right.
And usually, you feel me? I be straight. Like, I'm like, damn, well, lost one too. You feel me? Like, I lost one, but this time was a little bit different. You feel me? Like, I felt a little bit different. So
It stung a little bit more.
yeah, it stung a little bit more, and I was like, okay. You feel me? Let me pull up at her mama's house to see what's going
That's how
on.
it was between me and my wife.
Yeah, let me pull
I
up and see what's going on.
I was on that same type time, and
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, like, you cool, but I just want to be friends. Like,
Yeah,
what we got going, this ain't gonna be it."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, "All right,
It changed
shoot."
things. Yeah.
I got about a day. I'm like, "Man, I'm out here. I'm cool. Shoot it. It's me."
Yeah,
Right,
facts,
right, right,
facts.
Boy, about that second day, I was like, "Hey, what you doing, man? Let me
Thanks,
pull up
how
on
it
you.
is.
Let me go and pull up on you."
She wasn't even picking up the phone, bro. I had to pull up. I had to pull up,
You
man.
got to. You know you in love when you start acting crazy.
I was about like, I
You
think about
you start acting
24.
outside of yourself.
Yeah.
So
pull up.
to you, Sterling, with what's some advice that you've received that you feel like helped you out, or what's some advice that you would give to somebody who is younger, who's looking to be a good husband? Because I think a lot of us are genetically prepositioned to be great dads.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think
Facts.
we all
we have
want to be
nurturing
great dads.
characteristics built in. Yeah.
But being a husband is something different, man.
Facts.
Like, it's hard. So from your perspective, like, what's advice that people need to hear that they may not hear like that?
I had an uncle tell me one time when I first got married, shortly thereafter our wedding day, he said, "Look, man," he said, "every man is entitled to be the king of his castle." He said, "But in your kingdom, if your subjects are not happy, or if your court is not happy, there will be a mutiny." He said, "Listen to me. What are you ruling over?" You know what I mean? He said, "Just think about that." He said, "If you're going to be king of your castle, a king is fair and a king listens." He was like, too many times as kings, we focus more on the dominant parts. You know what I mean? You want to dominate. When being king means, your subjects and your court is extremely happy. He says, so just think about that. It's not what's right, it's who's right. I mean, it's not who's right, it's what's right. Excuse me. You know what I mean? He says, so just think about those things and you'll be fine. Also, just learn to pick your battles. That is the challenge, right? Be patient, right? Don't sweat the small stuff. And you can't fix everything.
Boy, that's the thing. That's the thing. Sterling, look, be real. You be wanting to fix everything. Because I be wanting to fix it all.
Absolutely.
How you know what to fix and what not
but
to fix?
But again, it's built in our DNA. It is genetic.
What you pick to fix though? Like that's the question. I don't know what to pick to fix right now. It's a problem. My wife will come in the house. She be crying. She be like, I ain't crying. No, you crying. But how do you know what needs to be fixed and when should you just listen?
When it remains broken as time goes on. That's what I have learned over time, right? If it's broken for the moment, then just listen.
Okay.
Right? The next day, check in. Hey, listen, I know you had a moment yesterday. I just want to see if you wanted to talk about it at this point. If you good, I won't push it. I just wanted to check on you.
Right.
You got to let it breathe. See, right then, you want to jump in with the tools, like you're working in a pit crew in NASCAR. You want to jump in and get it in.
Yeah.
But you got to let it breathe. That's one of the things that I have learned. Just let it breathe, right? And just listen. Just be there and let it breathe. You got to let it breathe. That's the hard part. You got to let it breathe, dog.
That's hard.
You got to let it breathe, bro.
Man.
You got to. You got to figure out how to let it breathe.
And I agree, man. I had one more that I do want to mention as far as advice, right? Mm-hmm. I strongly believe that people are going to grow individually, okay? The thing about that is when you are in a relationship, when you're in a marriage, right, you have to find a way to grow together. So I think my advice to talking to people is, and this goes both in, not just a husband, it's for your wife as well, right? When you're growing, you have to be you have to be honest and transparent of where you're going, all right? That person has to grow too, but you have to be so in tune that you're still growing together. Because if somebody growing this way and somebody growing that way, y'all growing apart, right? Yeah. So you got to be able to grow together and understand the paces may be different. You see what I'm saying? Like in whatever aspect it may be, the pace of the growth may be different. Because at the same time, that person may have started ahead of you. You feel me? Whatever mentality, whatever situation you're talking about, it could be, I don't know, they were more mature in this area, so they were here. You finally caught up, now you here in this area, but they kind of came up a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? So you can't forget that where y'all started. And just remember, the growth has to be collective and coordinated to some extent.
Whether it's in parenthood or marriage, be patient with yourself.
That's real too.
Be patient. You got to be patient, or a lot of the fires that are on fire, you're going to just toss gasoline on if you are not patient.
Oh, you was talking about the dynamic of like you got to have a set time for you and your wife, right? To where y'all can actually talk about stuff outside of the kids and work and all that, to where y'all make time for y'all. Like, how does that work for you and the kids? Like, how do you, I guess, for the sake of the episode, like, how do you keep balance? How do y'all keep balance between being a disciplinary, but at the same time being relatable to your kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily relatable, but open enough to where your kids feel like they have an open door policy in the house to come talk to you about stuff.
Yeah.
When I first became a dad, my need, when my daughter became old enough to start making mistakes, right, I instantly reverted back to my mother and how she would rear me, right? And again, we're being transparent, where I would get a whooping, there was no explanation, what you did, right? But I now realize on this end of things, that's not necessarily creating the most successful modern day adult, right? So one of the things that I do and that I found success with is I point out what was done wrong in a conversation, right? I'm teaching my daughter to recognize what she did wrong. And in most cases, she agrees. But what I start every conversation with, you're going to have your time to speak, right? I want you to tell me your version of what happened, right? And then we'll work through this together. So it's very much an open forum, and my daughter has got this thing now where she says, I know you're gonna say no. I said, you don't know that. Ask anyway. Closed mouth don't get fed. Open your mouth and ask me anyway. You know what I mean? Or like you, Haven, hey, it's okay to be upset, but you must exhibit self-control. You know what I mean? So really, we have more conversations than anything. I've learned that, hey, man, yelling is not productive. It's not
real.
getting anything done.
Bro, that's
right?
I can't even count on like whooping my sons or my kids. Like, bro, they not really getting whooping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that this is what it is. And
It's very much psychological.
Yeah, and it's not something that like I went in like I ain't really whooping my kid. I mean, just like, bro, but that's just my parenting nature. You feel me? So like, I think this it's definitely different within that aspect as well. Like, I agree with what you just said.
She had this thing about, brief story, but she had this thing about my daughter did around 5 years old about telling these little white lies, right? And she'd always known that the police job was to catch liars. So she had a series of lies through the week up to forging her progress report. So we got home from school one day and I emptied her backpack in the floor. I said, tell your mama bye. I'm taking you to live with the police. I played it up.
Dang.
We packed her bag. You know what I mean? We packed her some little clothes.
No, she was going crazy.
Well, I had friends at Collegedale PD, so I took
man.
I took her around to Collegedale PD.
You done did her wrong.
I walked in with her, right, and I told them to play it up, right? I said, they got your file right here. They got your cell over there. This is where I leave you, right?
Yeah.
But I learned in that moment, bro, when she lost it, she came unglued. I will never tell another lie again, Daddy.
Yeah.
I said, I just want you to know that.
Right,
I'm going to bring you back here to live with them.
Right.
We got home, man. It was night and day.
Yeah.
My baby don't lie to me, bro. She comes unglued before she tells a story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's very much psychological with kids.
That's
with
awesome.
Me, I used to get whooped with everything within arm's length.
Boy.
Yeah.
She can reach it, don't get
Facts,
hit with it, But my kids, they don't respond to that. It's very much psychological.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
That's good.
I know it's a bit extreme, but my daughter's that intelligent, like with her mind, like she's that determined in life, So I gotta take it to that extreme.
Right. We took it though.
But go.
No, I was gonna say, I mean, just as far as the open door policy, right? Like it would in communication. Man, I try my best to have that. You see what I'm saying? But sometimes you leave that floor open, your kids be saying some of the dumbest stuff, bro. Like I be like, bro.
Well, I mean, they say kid stuff, right?
Yeah, I got you, but I'm saying like, bro. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, man. Listen, so all right, man, my daughter is amazing, man. Smart, part of great, like grades good. She involved in cheerleading. She on point, man. But she was going through something, and I was talking to her about it. And she was like, "Oh, you're the reason my head's messed up." And I'm like, "What? Like what you talking about? You feel me?" And I came to realize, man, that sometimes you could be that scapegoat even for these kids.
Absolutely.
Like,
yes,
they could be going through their own thing, right? And you know how it is when people. All right, so if you ever seen older people, right, and they have a caregiver or somebody taking care of them, they be talking bad to them, right? They be like, "Well, why you taking them to the bathroom? Go get this, go get that," right? Because that's the easy, accessible person to take it out on. Mm-hmm. Same thing with these kids. Right, they going through all this stuff, but it's easy to attack their parent. We all went through that phase. We ain't like our parent. We was in teenage stage, and like all that stuff. They wasn't cool anymore, and all that stuff, right? So I'm kind of going through that phase, and I had to realize like I can give you the open floor, but I also got to correct you when you say something that's dumb stuff.
Because you could look up and be enabling.
Yeah,
you not even realize you're enabling.
You can have your opinion. But you need to think about what you're saying.
You're still talking to your daddy.
Yeah, like you got to pay attention to your surroundings, right? Like you got to pay attention to what the blessings you have and the opportunities you've been given, right? So, I think that's something that you got to pay attention to these kids too. So I've learned that when me and navigating through this deal, I'm gonna give you the open floor, the opportunity to talk, but I'm still gonna check you when you say some stuff that just makes no sense.
So I just want to chime in before we end. Have you reached that point to where your kids feel like you lame? Like, are you the lame parent?
See,
or you still cool?
Man, listen, I ain't gonna. So my sons, bro, they love me. I'm cool as
Okay,
you know. I'm good. Like
Okay,
them.
okay,
I'm straight. Like they don't know nobody cooler. You know what I'm saying? All of that. They come to tell me everything. Everything is good. My daughter, she try to make it where I ain't the cool dad no more, but she know I'm cool. She be trying. She try. She try to be like, oh da. But nah, she know what's going on with me.
So the only thing that I ask of you,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna ask of it of myself, we gotta get Sterling. We gotta give him his swag back.
Okay, let's do it.
He was talking about.
Yeah, I know. He said, man, I lost my swag. I used to have joints, polos.
It's a very real thing, man.
Man.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Listen, Sterling, we gotta make you the cool dad. You
That's
you
it.
still got time, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you got time with your daughter, but you got time with your son.
You got plenty of time. You got
plenty of time
time
with him. Your
You got
daughter
plenty
gonna
of
stop
time.
liking you at
My
some
dad
point.
just, I mean, my daughter just want me to cook.
That's
You know what I'm
you.
saying?
you always gonna be good.
Yeah, you
That's
good.
it.
You
That's
good.
it, you know.
But for the most part, man, I think today's conversation was really eye opening for me because and some of the things that I took away is, you know what I'm saying, you got to be patient. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to understand, you got to let stuff breathe. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing that you kept reiterating the whole time, every household different. You got to do what works for you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really, really important. There is no, and then something else that you said was you still figuring this thing out. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, when I got married, I felt like I had to have everything figured out.
Nah, it's tough,
Bro,
It's a
me and my-
journey. It's a journey,
Me
bro.
and my
It's
wife
tough.
had a tough first year because I felt like I had the same mindset. I got to get this thing right today.
Yeah.
And it was like, get it right, because I want to live with you for the rest of my life. But I wasn't taking into account, I got the rest of my life to get it right. You know
It's
what
a
I'm
life walk, baby.
saying? Man.
Hey, hence the walk.
Listen. And
Yeah,
that, I think
thanks.
that's really important. I think for more black men, even black women, they need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? As black men, we don't have the answers to everything. We're not trying to save you. We're not trying to take you from some place where you have nothing and we make you this whole person. We want you to come to the table just like we come into the table and we work on ourselves together. You know what I'm saying? So I think today's conversation, I just want to thank you, Sterling. Thank you, Haven, for allowing for me to host.
Yeah,
today.
man. It felt different. As
Hey,
I
man,
said, I wasn't prepared for this.
Hey, you did a great job.
Man,
Hey,
thank you. I
jumped
appreciate it.
into it.
Yeah,
Hey,
I wasn't
I'm
prepared for this.
So I just want to thank y'all for watching this edition of Purple and Gold Table Talk.
Most definitely.
We have a lot more in store, so
Great
make sure
time,
that
great
y'all follow us, subscribe on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram, Chattanooga
Yeah,
Q's, all
yeah.
that good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any parting remarks that y'all want?
Man, you might have took my job, man. This guy came here and killed it. Shout out to Cal, but this was great, man. This was great.
I appreciate it. What,
Yeah.
Stir, you got anything that you?
Just stay focused, stay humble, and be intentional, man.
Okay. Hey.
That's it. It's okay. What y'all just said. It's okay to still be growing. It's all right. There's no rush in this deal. There's no perfect husband. There's no perfect father. There's none of that. Understand that you had to be yourself throughout this, and it's a journey the whole way through. So take your time and enjoy it while you have it.
Absolutely.
All right. And on that note, we'll be closing out. Thank y'all for watching.
All right.